Previously on the diary.
The summer was really boring. Apparently, no one wants to invite the crazy girl that killed someone to their pool parties.
If suddenly they were both about to die, the next day when they woke up in the hospital, they would know who to thank for their lives. It was me who said it. I inceptioned him. I can't let Bobby die and save Mr. Morgan just because the slutty professor turned him over to me. I switched to a new bag to fill up another one for Bobby. They will know I did all I could to correct it. I did lead a kid into murder. I corrupted someone innocent and now he's in prison. I successfully anticipated, rushed, and prevented a bigger tragedy. And the people he hurt, I tried to save myself. Would it help if I said I'm sorry?
I silently sat on my side of the car and slowly picked up on all the subtle hints. Her slang was trashier, her smile was different, but just as pretty. Her mannerisms were sluttier. I got in the cab and I could see his eyes in the rear view mirror. Every 30 seconds he would look again. I could tell if he was looking at my face or at my cleavage or at my skirt. It was the most uncomfortable ride I've ever been on. I killed him because he raped me, and I created you because you protect me and kill him. Are you sure about this? Even if you don't go to prison, you will at least be sent to a mental facility for God knows how long. Why would you do that? You were my best friend. He already made you suffer enough. I'll take it from here and we'll split the misfortune. I had so much fun in South America. You will never believe who I met down there. He's very handsome and really nice. He's a little older, he's 33, and he doesn't live quite that far away from here. Maybe about a 2-hour drive. He has the cutest blue eyes I've ever seen. I think I might be falling for him, but I'm not sure yet. We'll see.
I took blood from the good twin, and for the next month I was mellow and passive.
Although Pukey Face has been making my heart grow bigger, I fear the only accomplishment so far has been to show me how little it actually is. I haven't done anything psychotic this time around.
Her phone was on the floor next to her, so I took it. I quickly used my sister's finger to unlock it. I silenced her phone. I saw newspaper clips of stories from all over the state of things they have already done and the blueprints for things they haven't done yet. There are so many things. This serves absolutely no purpose. At least in Fight Club, they had some social agenda. This is just causing chaos for chaos's sake. I went back up to my room, and Craig stopped me at the door. Where were you? Downstairs. With Bobby? No. I heard some commotion, and I put an end to it. Our boy toy isn't going anywhere. I then saw Craig smile, and I knew that was my cue to close the door. He believes I am my sister. I need to get Bobby out of here. I'm going to need some help. I texted my friend Dorothy and asked her to meet me tonight outside the Fight Club house.
The following takes place on July 27, 2015. Part 2.
Dear Diary, the foot soldiers are constantly working on each and every one of their plans to cause chaos in the city. None of them will really talk about their thoughts or feelings about the plans. They seem to just be following them blindly. I tried as much as I could not to interact with Craig. I mean, he met me in South America. It's possible he could tell the difference between my sister and me. Jessica noticed it. Didn't take her very long either. Is Craig that smart? Or that in love with my sister? Maybe. Maybe not. But I did try to ask him some questions. I tried as hard as I could to be inconspicuous and still get him to open up a little bit. He said that as a taxi driver, he gets to take little glimpses into other people's lives while they're in the back seat of his cab. He would start conversations with them, and they will either treat him like dirt or share. If they did share, they would either appear to be super self-centered, vain, and ungrateful, or they would just be plain boring and wasteful of time and life. He said that when he saw Fight Club, it was as if he was hearing his own thoughts through someone else's mouth. And he never really thought it would be possible to make it a reality until he heard of Bobby's Foot Clan. He knew he had to take over immediately and drive it down the right path. But he isn't trying to fix society. That's too ambitious. He just wants to have some fun at other people's expense. He's like a bully on steroids, just pushing your buttons until they get a reaction off you that gets you in trouble, where you expose your own weaknesses and vulnerabilities, which makes you an even easier target later on. There is no psychoanalysis here, though. He's not atoning for a terrible childhood or anything. He thinks it's the equivalent of social experiments, like lying to your parents just to see how much they're willing to bend reality to fit your lies before confronting you when your stories wear thin. Or like making your girlfriend angry on purpose just to see how much she'll put up with before she breaks up with you. Not because you want her to break up with you, but because you want to see how far she can bend over backwards for you. Except this is at a larger scale. Just testing per trial and error to see how much society is willing to take before they stand up and do something about it. Of course, what he's trying to do is just plant a seed of hate that will burn inside people's hearts to corrupt innocent people, incepting them into chaotic reactions. It reminded me of what I did to Rocco, which made me extremely ashamed to realize we had something in common. Why did I do that? The only explanation I had before was that I wanted to save Bobby and Mr. Morgan's lives, so I had to create that scenario of danger for them. How is this any different? Well, he isn't planning on saving anyone after or sending the responsible parties to jail like I did. And I like to believe that I grew up and learned from my mistake. That's probably why I didn't do anything psychotic in the next months after that incident, and not because I took blood from the good twin. And the reason I did it in the first place was probably because I was still holding a grudge inside for throwing away 2 years of my life. I was trying to hurry things up and make up for lost time. I was playing the part of what people at school already thought of me, not because I was just inherently evil. It was just some twisted logic based on a skewed perception of reality as a result of a prolonged, unfair, self-caused punishment. But I am not making excuses. I did what I had to do to fix the problems I caused, and it almost cost me my life. I don't condone or want to promote violence, but Craig and his Foot Clan do need to be stopped as soon as possible. Like a cancer that threatens the survival of the rest of the body needs to be chemically disintegrated. I'm not going to let society sink down to the level that Craig wants it to. If that means I have to sacrifice my sanity once again, bring me the straitjacket. I will stand up on behalf of everyone else. I will fight for Jessica once again. I will try my best because I am that strong. I am the only one that knows where the metaphorical bomb is. There's still time on the clock, and I'm the only one in the position to defuse it. I understand that the problem with violence is that if you think of it in mathematical terms, fighting violence with violence is like a multiplication, where the product is just violence squared, and the carnage never ends. Not a good idea. But if you fight violence with its opposite, peace, you'll end up with a total sum that can end up being either positive or negative, depending on which side is larger, the peaceful side or the violent side, respectively. One will consume the other until it is depleted, and unfortunately, violence usually depletes peace faster than peace depletes violence. So, while this is a better idea, it's still not what we need here. What I'm hoping for is a type of violence that is equally opposed to it, so rather than multiply itself, will divide itself and technically dissolve both sides until its product has been pulverized down to the smallest positive integer, 1. When we finished talking, he walked away but then stopped. I went back to my room and my sister's phone was vibrating. It was Craig, so I went back out with the phone in my hand. "Are you calling me?" "Butt dialed," he said. "I think he's suspicious. I really hope Dorothy doesn't fail me. I can't stay here any longer. It has to be tonight. Hate, C."
'Cause I'm coming to town.